everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dee. I am a fully qualified actuary, and one of my channel objectives is to promote careers in math or helping career choices for people who study math, data, or coding. So I personally study the double degree of mathematics and business from the University of Waterloo and Wilfrid Laurier University. And I majored in Actuarial Science and also had a concentration in finance back in university. And I ended up to pursue the actual profession and pursue the education system with the Society of Actuaries. And eventually I become a fully qualified actuary working in the risk management in a life insurance company in Canada. So today I actually have a friend from my program back in university also studied the same thing as me, but he now do different things completely, well, not completely, but like very different thing than my career path. So this video I want to show you like for who study like math and maybe like math and business majors to see how one actually explore different career options and how we maneuver on our professional path, professional journey, and doing what we're currently doing. So I hope you will find this video helpful. And let's get started and welcome Sasha to our channel today. Hi Sasha, thanks for being here today. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, it's my pleasure too. So since I graduated Waterloo, currently I'm a financial technology and corporate strategy professional based in the US and sort of living between both Washington, D.C. and New York City, mostly based here in Washington, D.C. Immediately after Waterloo, I worked as a management consultant for a couple of years in New York, followed by doing a master's degree in public policy at the Harvard Kennedy School, and currently, as I said, working at a fintech startup in Washington, D.C. In my spare time, I like to write on issues involving public policy, politics, finance, technology, and other topics, and have been published and quoted in about 7 countries and newspapers around the world. In my spare time, I like to volunteer for nonprofits and advocacy groups around the world. And fun fact, I'm also a legally ordained priest, which is why I'm all dressed up. I just officiated a wedding before hopping on this video call, actually.
Oh, that's great. It's funny how like now you in a way you're in the wedding profession industry, right? And same as me, I'm also doing wedding photography too.
So, oh, I didn't know that. That's so cool. I didn't know that you're involved in that as well.
Yeah, so I think it's like for us when we think about we studying math, but it doesn't stop us to do a little bit outside of that and in a more different field.
Exactly.
Okay, so what led you to study math and business in the first place in undergraduate, and then how was the core program?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say that honestly, when I was back in high school deciding what to apply for, I didn't put that much thought into it, except for the fact that I was good at math, I liked math, and I liked business. So a math and business double degree program sort of hit all those interests. Also, generally, it was a good program at a good school, 2 good schools, thanks to the double degree aspect of it. So I applied to the program and I was fortunate enough to get in. What I also liked about the program is that it offered a good amount of flexibility, especially compared to some of the other options, like the math accounting program at Waterloo, which is also an excellent program, but the math and business double degree is less focused specifically on the accounting aspects. And also generally, I like the small town community aspect of Waterloo, which helped to set it apart from other great schools like the University of Toronto, the University of British Columbia, and other schools in Ontario too. I think whether people like the small town environment versus a big city environment really depends on the person. And that's why it really helped me back in high school to visit these universities, see what they're like, and talk to actual students at the time too. Yeah, for sure. I think like there are a lot of factors going to place when choosing a program or university, as you say, like the environment of the university, the program and everything. So more research is always good before we deciding something. Exactly. So how do you figure out what you like to do? So like, are there any turning points that push you to one direction or other in your career? I guess in a real way, I still don't know 100%. And I think that as we grow up, we continue to gain and lose interests, and that's a perfectly normal and healthy part of life. And I think that that's why it's important to generally leave doors open to new possibilities as well. I'd say a couple of things help. Number one, co-op definitely helps. I think like in my own experience, I quickly realized that being an actuary was not for me. And that led me to make a huge career pivot after graduating to management consulting. And it helped to have that co-op experience. I sort of realized that what I like most about being a co-op is that you go into a company, you work for a couple of months on maybe a predefined project, maybe not, but that's ultimately like management consulting, which is why I made that pivot after graduation. I also used graduate school as sort of a career reset to refine skills and passions and develop new interests. And I think a lot of people use grad school like that, whether it's an MBA or a different kind of degree. And I used it as a way to speak with people in very different industries who are involved in very different things. And I think that was one of the main values of it, at least for me, that I was able to meet people who are doing things. And I'm thinking, I didn't even know that was an option. I never thought of that as a career. And just being able to meet with people and work with them and like get drinks with them once in a while was, I think, a very valuable aspect of graduate school.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I think giving the graduate school let you to meet other people. So it's not just the content or what the academic aspect of it, but really the networking and open your mind into different possibilities.
Exactly. And graduate schools, obviously, it's a great way to do that, but there are other avenues as well. Like, just as an example, here in Washington, D.C., I go to a lot of, COVID makes it weird, but to a lot of happy hours and events in foreign policy or different sector areas. And of course, in DC of all cities, I'm able to nurture those interests. But now so much of it's virtual. It's easy to interact with people on Zoom events or webinars or other topics too. I don't think that there's any excuse to not do so and to not be able to explore different interests and just sort of find out and learn more of what you're interested in outside of a purely academic setting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say like the pandemic in a way give us something good, positive is the way of like, now there's no battery in terms of geography or something. So it's just technology. We more used to do social online and networking on that. So it definitely opened more doors for everyone.
Absolutely agree.
So now that you 10 years into your career after graduation, if you can give advice to your younger self, what would you say in terms of life, career, anything?
Yeah, I'd say the main thing that I say when I go back to Waterloo is to focus less on school and to focus on exploring new interests. In my own experience, and I don't know if everybody will relate to this, but I thought my education, I focused too much on the math aspects and failed to cultivate other interests like economics and political science and some of the humanities. I'm still in a way known in Waterloo as sort of the guy who did the quadruple major during the double degree program. And it's something which I would not recommend to people who are in my position now, however many years ago. The framework which I like is something which I've adopted from Harvard Business School, which is sort of, it's an 80-20 framework in that ideally you want to spend about 80% of your time cultivating interests which you know you have. That might be the math or in related disciplines. But spend about 20% of your time exploring potentially new interests, or you might have a niche interest in a topic, learn a little more about it, or meet people, or attend a talk, or even watch a YouTube video on it. The 80-20 framework I really like, and you and some of your viewers might recognize it from what Google used to do, for example, as well, with their 20% time. Another thing which I'd recommend is that I did a study abroad in Hong Kong, which was an absolutely life-changing moment, and one which I'd highly recommend to everybody. From living in the States, I realized that a lot of Americans do it more often than Canadians, but I recommend that everybody take the opportunity to study abroad in a safe, English-speaking country where they don't have any family or ethnic connections. And also, by the way, they don't look like they might. I think that third aspect is something which a lot of people miss, and I really emphasize that people won't really get the full value of it otherwise. But I'd also, just some general advice too, is I'd advise people looking to do something that is meaningful and impactful. And one thing which I'm concerned about when I meet people at Waterloo in particular is that a lot of these kids are among the smartest students in Canada. And of course, they're looking for well-paying jobs, but unfortunately, I'm concerned that a lot of them ultimately contribute little to society because we have big problems in the world, from climate change to COVID to economics and human rights, whatever you care about. And it's unfortunately, I feel it's a little bit of a waste for our best and brightest to figure out how to make more people click on Facebook ads. I think ultimately that's not contributing anything. And I therefore recommend finding a cause or something that you're passionate about and find a way to make a career or have a part-time focus in that area.
Yeah, like one of my videos about a career planning and how to choose the right career for you for anyone. I did touch on this topic because like ikagi, the like happiness in Japan is like you choose something that you are good at and that you are interested in, and it makes financial sense for you, and that it actually making an impact, because then like you say, if it's a cause that you actually strongly support, you will be more satisfied, and then you will be happier doing it, and that will be like a long-term lasting impact. See, we spend a lot of time on our work, so it's best that we do something that we like and something that is actually contribute to the cause that we are interested in or we support.
No, I completely agree. I recently met actually some Waterloo, I think they were software engineering graduates, who they were class of 20, I'm forgetting, but like a couple of years sooner than us. And they worked at Facebook and Silicon Valley, which presumably is what a lot of people who graduated from a software engineering degree at Waterloo want to do. And just talking to them about how they felt hollow by the work they were doing, unfortunately. And of course, that experience is not going to be shared by everybody. But I definitely recommend finding a way to use those skills towards something which you feel encouraged to wake up early for every single day. And of course, what that means for you is going to be different than what it means for me. But especially if you're blessed with a co-op experience or internships where you're able to find that out, I think that's ultimately how to be a little bit more satisfied with what you spend most of your waking hours on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so thank you so much for being here today and sharing your experience and then your journey, how you exploring different career options and then trying to decide what you want to do. So I'm very glad that you being here, and we're both from the same program, and it's interesting to see how we have different career paths, but I think that's the way it works. Like we all can study from the same program, and we have different interests, and we're gonna end up with different things that and hopefully that's what we like.
Absolutely.
So I have to say I am very pleased choosing the double degree of math and business for my undergraduate. I do think it's a great combination for people who love math but also like interested in the business world, in the corporate world. It does lead us to a lot of different career options, and I can have a special playlist about from the people who have studied with me in this program, and you can see that we all choose different career paths, and I think that is great. So yes, a little bit promotion, not paid promotion for my program for the University of Waterloo and Wilfrid Laurier University. So if you have any questions or comments about career choices, career planning, or what to study in university and so on, like let me know in the comment sections, and I'm always monitoring on the comments and happy to answer any questions you may have. So yeah, I hope you find this video helpful, and if so, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in another video. Bye now.